Hey everyone, welcome back to the realm. I'm Gina,
I'm Rob.
I'm Amy.
I'm Brian.
and we are here with our Scaretober extravaganza. And for the month of October this year, we chose to do every Monday a movie review for scary movies, horror movies. Our movie reviews kind of went over well in the past, so we needed some easy stuff this October because we're still going over evidence. So with that, we all like kind of put our hat in the ring to recommend a movie. A lot of them are older, but this is relevant because the one we're reviewing today, they're coming out with a new episode, which I'm sure are a new like, what am I thinking? What's the word?
Sequel.
A
Sequel.
sequel?
Yes, there's another sequel.
Oh
Gosh, I can't.
boy.
Yeah.
My brain is mush. I think that's coming out next year, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm sure Brian will
That's
have
right.
that information. But anyway, so tonight we are talking about Scream, the original, the
Yay.
OG Scream. This was Brian's recommendation, and I just closed out of my screen to do the breakdown here. Okay, so this is a 1996 film. Uh if I'm not mistaken, this was directed by Wes Craven. It was written by Kevin Williamson. It stars Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Dave Arquette, Drew Barrymore, Matthew Lillard. Those are like the Jamie Kennedy's in this one. Those are kind of the bigger names that are in here. I think Liev Schreiber, who played Cotton, in here as well. So let's just talk about what this movie is. So Scream, it's about this teenage girl who becomes targeted by a psychotic killer that's dressed in a ghost face mask, who uses his obsession with horror movies and movies in general to like carry out this act of like stalking and murder, let's say. And so it kind of follows that whole process. The character Sydney, she's like the main character, but they do start out the movie, which we'll talk about this because like Kaz and I were like, why did they kill the first people? Like they talk about the motive of why Sydney was like the object of their wrath and wanting to murder her.
Mhm.
But anyway, so it's this big mystery. This murders happen. Even like the school principal gets killed. There's lots of people that get killed, and so they're kind of following this story, and you're kind of trying to figure out who done it the whole film. So I have to say, to start off, and I'm gonna pass this over to Brian because this was his idea and he can like dive into this. But I have to say, like, I don't know about you, Amy, or this was just like a female thing, but like it was immediate cringe in some of these like portions of the movie. Like the most like I'm looking back and I'm thinking back then when we heard people talk like that in our minds, we thought like, oh, this is flirtatious and this is cool and this is like sexy maybe at the time. But like when I heard him trying like the one character is getting pressured to like
Have sex.
have sex with their boyfriend.
Yes,
And
I
he's
was like,
like,
I said something to Rob, like, oh, I can't have sex with you. I'm gonna just crawl back out the window. Like,
I'm gonna
oh,
be so
so
sad.
gross.
But my
That's
favorite
how I am all the time. I just
Oh
but
my God.
fine, I'll
It
just
was
crawl out the
so,
window.
the
like,
fact that he says, "I don't want to pressure you, so maybe how about some over the clothes stuff?" Like that line sent me. I was just
yes.
like,
And then he immediately starts to go up her skirt.
oh my god. So
Right.
anyway, I had to say, it is
A
a
little
blast from the
racy.
past. It takes you way back if you like had that era as part of like your childhood or early adulthood. It takes you way back, and I just can't believe like what we thought was acceptable at that point. Like we've come a long way as a society, so that gives me a little bit of hope. Anyway, Brian, I turn it over to you.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Um, you left off Skeet Ulrich on the cast who plays Billy Loomis, and now I know why. You
What?
really what's that?
Oh, oh,
forgot Henry Winkler.
Yeah,
oh
the
yeah,
Fonz.
Henry
Yeah,
Yeah,
Winkler was.
Principal Himbry.
That's right.
Rose McGowan.
Yeah.
Well, I left out a whole bunch of people. Damn.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's okay. You got the big names. Somewhere Nev
But
Campbell is very excited. She's in Canada, very happy that you made sure you got her in.
she was first. Skeet Ulrich, I forgot. Honestly, like I'm looking at a picture of him right now, what he looks like now, and I'm just like, it does not look like the same Billy at all.
Look
A
up
fun
Rose
fact.
McGowan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tatum that played Tatum.
Yep.
Well, I found it interesting because I was looking at the dynamics between Courtney Cox and David Arquette's characters in that movie. Was that at the time they started dating, or had they already started dating?
We
Or
we
did
were having that
The
conversation
next
while
one, I
watching it.
think.
like in real life, is that when they started dating?
I think it was the next one.
Oh, the next one.
Because
Okay.
the next one was just a year later. I think the next one is when they were starting to date. They might have been married already by the next one.
Yeah, because I was just like, you can kind of see a hint of those dynamics in the movie. That
Yeah.
they're good actors or whatever, but you could just there are some things bleeding through there that I thought was kind of funny. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Back to you, Brian.
It's interesting with Billy Loomis when you're talking about well, there's something, the names in the movie. The movie pays a lot of homage to all other horror movies that came before. We have Billy Loomis. That's a shout out to Dr. Loomis from Halloween. They allude to Halloween a lot in this movie. We even get
Yes.
the awesome climax of the movie where Halloween is on the TV, so we get to use that soundtrack. It's genius. I'll give
Yeah.
Wes Craven props right away, right off the top. This is the best thing that he had done, and it's probably because he didn't write it. Kevin Williamson did, and you can tell if you ever watch Dawson's Creek or I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, The Faculty. These are all Kevin Williamson. Halloween H2O. They all have that same type of vibe, and
Yeah.
it's really, really good. It's a really tight script. So much so to my point that I was going to say was you have Billy Loomis who's trying to sleep with Sydney through the whole movie, and he does the very passive aggressive things that you guys were talking about. But by the time we get to the end of the movie, we understand the reason why he's doing that. That's all part of the master plan that he and Stu have throughout the whole movie, is that not only does he want to kill her because of her mother having an affair with her dad, and then Billy's mom leaves, and that's his whole motive for doing these killings, is he wants to get back at Sydney. So him trying to sleep with her is one of those, it's one of those rules that we go over in this movie, the rules of surviving a horror movie. You can't have sex, you can't do drugs and drink, you can't say I'll be right back. So it's not only Stu and Billy who are looking through the lens of a horror movie, so they kind of need to check that box with Sydney. And on top of that, it's even more sinister and dastardly that not only do I want to kill you, I also want to take your virginity from you on top of it, just to
Right.
add insult to injury. Yeah, Billy's a really bad guy.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they were calling her mom a whore, and then her big thing was like, I just don't want to rush into anything and like have
Mhm.
people be like my mom or whatever. And
Yeah.
I say that there's really no such word as whore because I feel like you could just do what you want in this life. I mean, we can't have a two-way street. Men can do whatever. I feel like,
Mhm.
that's just the double standard. So I just don't that word doesn't jive with me because I just think you do whatever you want. Go.
Yeah. And you get this intricate plot. When we start at the beginning of the movie, you really don't know. I mean, we've all seen this movie before, right?
Mhm.
Everybody who's on today has already seen this movie, is my
Yeah,
assumption. And if you're listening
multiple
to
times.
us, I'm going to assume you've seen this. If you haven't, go watch it and come back. But odds are you've seen it. You know what all the spoilers and the plot twists are. Once you see this movie and you know that Billy and Stu are working together throughout this movie, it changes the whole thing when you rewatch it, because now you already know what the trick is, and it's almost more interesting that way, because Billy and Stu are very meticulous about the plan that they're doing. You asked why would they kill Drew Barrymore's Casey and her boyfriend Steve in the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie. They tell us later in the movie that Stu was dating Casey, and Casey dumped him for the football player.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
so that indicates to us that this was a Stu thing. Whatever Stu's involvement was in this, he wanted to kill Casey. We know what Billy's motivation was, that he just wanted to
Right.
get Sydney, but in order to get Stu on board, I'm assuming Stu wanted to take out Casey. And the other genius part of it is, once you know that there's two Ghostface, you can start mapping that out throughout the movie, who's doing what killing.
Mhm.
So in the opening scene, that has to be Billy, because the next day at school, we have Rose McGowan's character, Tatum, says, nope, Stu was with me last night. So we know that Stu has an alibi. It's kind of
Right.
genius. He knows he has an alibi.
And
So,
Billy stops by Sydney's
and
house.
Billy stops by Sydney's house, climbing in the window to make sure that that gets down on record. Then, when you fast forward to Billy being arrested, and then you have Stu make the phone call that they got the wrong person, and they've already been intricately setting up Sydney's dad for this, which is again very smart on their part. They both cover each other with alibis. And it's
Yeah.
really smart. Like, they're really meticulous about their plan, but that's why Casey gets killed in the beginning, is because she dated Stu.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, was it practice? And then I forgot about that whole aspect of her having dated Stu before. Forgot
Yeah.
about that. I forgot
What do
about
you got, Rob?
that.
So, I seen this movie once way back when it first came out, and that was enough for me to never ever see another Scream movie. When I
Wow.
knew I had to watch this movie again,
Yep.
the scene that I could think of that was the most memorable scene in this movie was ended up not even being from this movie. It was actually from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, no.
But to me, they're the same movie. And in short, Brian, you owe me $4.
Oh, come on. No way.
No, and we like our, you like your stuff, I like my stuff, everybody likes their stuff. But I'm not sure what was more painful, watching this movie again or you say how great it is.
Wow. Okay, you got to explain
Okay.
yourself, though. You have to
Okay,
go through the litany of things you
the
don't like.
script is like, I don't know. I don't know why the whole when I watch this, I'm not a slasher movie guy, for one.
Okay.
I like monsters, and like I've said before, so when you watch a movie with a slasher and it's supernatural, like Jason or Michael Myers,
Mhm.
to me it's a little more interesting. I already did know the outcome of this movie, and you pick up things that you didn't notice before because of the what you already know. But when I'm listening to the script, and there's so much, like, these are the things I pick out. How hard would it have been back in 1996 to trace all the cellular numbers? I knew two people in the city of Pittsburgh that had a cell phone in 96, 95. So there couldn't have been that many. How come they didn't check for fibers or DNA off that costume when they first arrested that dude? Why was she doing a news report after she shot a guy like 6 times and not in the back of a car? Because they're still going to cuff you and take you downtown for questioning. How did those two lift that camera guy and put him on top of the van? Do you know how tricky that would have been? Not only was it a van, it had an extension on top of it.
It's a television production van.
So like I was showing earlier, I don't know if we can get it because my lighting's super weird. That's my pros, and here's my cons.
I guess.
I
guess the thing
thought
is,
that,
though,
like,
is that you're
the whole time I'm watching this, and like, okay, Stewart, super annoying character. He is so annoying. And like in the very beginning, they're all sitting on that bench and they're all talking about Drew Barrymore's murder, and then she walks away, the daughter of the murder victim from a year ago. And then they tell you about the rape and the murder, which I totally had forgot about since I haven't seen this movie in like 30 years. And it was like, man, those dudes were really being dicks when they were talking about Drew Barrymore's murder in front of what's her name that just had her mom hasn't even been a year yet.
Right.
Rape and murder. Ugh. And even Dewey, you ever notice he runs around with his finger on the trigger the whole time?
Yeah,
that is horrible gun safety, even for a cop. Like these are the things that I was picking up the whole time. I don't think the garage door would lift a body.
No, it would not.
It would definitely not. And not
I would
with
have to
enough
say
force
that
to
head
kill
crush though was pretty like that was like those
it was
special effects
the
was
best
pretty
murder
realistic.
in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And also like Dewey, like, okay, there's a curfew and you let these kids have a party with underage drinking.
Exactly.
That dude's going away. He's going away. With the murders that happened there, he shouldn't be in any sequels.
Yep.
He would somehow not, I don't know, be accessory, but I was like, and those killers, they should have been taken out easy. How many times they trip them, kick them in the junk, throw something at them? Like, is this a comedy? Is this realistic? I do have one more pro. They were able to take one of the most cliche Halloween costumes and make it into a bestseller. To me, this is a movie that is just a prime example of board members sitting in a meeting room talking about what can we do to get kids to come to the show. And that was my opinion. I don't have a high opinion of it. To me, it was just I've seen it before, kind of stuff. Not seen it before, but just everything that happens. I wasn't impressed the first time. I certainly was not impressed the second time. And I really wanted to go into it being like trying to pick stuff up to be like, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. But man, Stewart ruined it.
Wow.
Well, I have to say about the wanting your $4 back.
Sorry.
When we were recording Weird Weekly News before, I was like, wait, we got to save this conversation for the podcast because he's like, I'll never get, that's $3.99 I'll never get back. And I was like, I was gonna tell him this, so I'll tell you this now. So, Grandpa Joe, my spouse, Kez, like who's always, acting like an old man, decides that they're gonna find some place to watch this for free. And they did. It was on this app that we had to download called Fossum. It's like F and then awesome. Like
She is totally admitting to a crime right now.
It's called Fossum, but it's an app on Roku. So like it was legit. It was not like these underground things. So, but it had commercials. So it would like get to the really intense part and then cut to a commercial. And I would look at Kaz and I'm like, I'm going to kill you. I swear to God. I was like, you were going to make this movie. Now it's going to be twice as long because now we have to break for like these 5-minute commercials every so often. So every time a commercial came on, I was just irritated. And I'm like, let me order the movie.
I was like fidgeting. I was like, is this thing over with yet?
So here's the worst part about it. So yes, I got to watch it for free. However, it's coming out like on October. It's coming out one day this week for free on one of the like major.
And,
of course,
Hulu.
Yeah, so it's going to be out for free. Like all these movies that we're reviewing is going to be out. I was like, of course it's going to be out in a few days, but we have to record this Sunday.
Me and Amy would never get a app that you would be able to illegally download movies for free. And if we did, and Amy didn't pay it, then we had to actually pay for it legally. And I was like, damn it.
Rob,
to me, it was just, it had all the cliches. If you're into this mainstream kind of stuff, it probably checked off all the boxes you would need for your typical horror movie. But maybe if they were undead or something, or, Michael Myers and Jason, it would have been more fun for me, but and he killed Henry Winkler.
Yeah, that wasn't cool to kill the
Yeah,
Fonz.
It was like we were talking like
the red
he should have been
herring.
dying, going, "Hey, hey!"
For like a
hey."
half a second, what they did do good though with his character was he was just odd enough to make you think potentially is it him? Just by some of the ways that he was acting, he was just a little off. And then it was just like there was something about him, and I was like, oh, I could see, like, if I was watching this for the first time, he would go on my list of suspects.
That would have really boosted his career if he was the killer.
No, right?
See, but
But
that's
we
what this movie does well is that it's a whodunit, and it is
right.
part comedy. Like it is a horror comedy. They're not trying to shy away from that, and it has all the trappings of a slasher movie. You got to remember where slasher movies were and horror movies were in 1996. This is the same
Yeah.
year that Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers came out. So this actually helped rejuvenate that whole genre.
Mhm.
And Rob is right with a lot of the trappings and the tropes that they get caught in. We were just talking about it before we came on about putting Kenny, the cameraman, on top of the van. And I
Yeah.
said, for as much as this movie takes all the tropes and cliches that we all know and tries to use them and have the characters be smart enough for that, it still very much exists in that universe that even they can't get away from the tropes of somebody's going to be strung up in a tree or put on top of a van. It doesn't make any sense for them to do that, but that's one of the tropes. We are still living in that universe, and through that lens, I feel like it really works. This is not a uh, realistic version of what the story would be. It's very much in the same vein of a Friday the 13th or Halloween or one of those type movies, really to the core. But also, I think as a whodunit, it works because they'll give you clues for everybody. Like with Henry Winkler, the voice even kind of sounds like him on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, and you have the boots in the bathroom. When Sydney's in the bathroom, we see the boots come down, and then later on they give us a shot of the sheriff, and he's wearing boots. Even Dewey, when we get back to Tatum and Dewey's house with Sydney, and they get the phone call, and it's Ghostface, and the mom goes looking for Dewey, and she has to go find him, and we're like, where the hell is Dewey? What is he doing? You know, and then
Yeah.
he finally comes out, but that's to give you that little bit of a doubt of, was he the person on the other line? And that's why he didn't come out until the person hangs up.
Fun fact is that
yep,
they actually have a actor who did the voice.
yes,
It's not any of
yep.
the other actors who did the voice.
Yeah, I believe he does the voices of some Powerpuff Girls or something like that.
That's funny.
But it
Well,
was another interesting thing was like Dewey got stabbed in the back by like just the tip of the knife,
Yeah,
and he was down and out,
yeah,
and that was it, right? And we had some people get killed from some pretty minor injuries, but how many times did Stewart get stabbed and he was able to function
that's what I
and
was going to
fight?
talk
And I
about.
was like, good God.
Well, I was gonna say that because the one thing I guess they did well with this movie too was just that the two like perpetrators, two kids, like these teenagers, mind you,
hmm
they like formulate this plan down to the point of like studying how they could stab each other and harm each other to make it look like they were attacked as well, and then to like go on and do that at the end of the movie so that they
hmm
could like continue on with their plan and get rid of everybody and make it look like Sydney's dad that did all of this.
And the
So
movie would have been really different if Stewart never put the gun down.
yes,
Who puts the gun down?
well
If he would have never put that gun down, the movie would have went as they had planned.
my favorite thing though was when he's like, "Did you really call the police?"
yes.
And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like,
It's
"My
gonna
mom's
My
kill
gonna
mom
be
and dad
so
gonna be so mad at me.
mad." Oh God, yeah, so
And
mad at me.
and right before that, Billy hits him with the phone because he's
Yes,
pissed off and he's looking for Sidney. He throws the phone.
mad.
He
You
hits
hit
me
me
right
with
in
the
the head.
phone.
He's like, "You hit me with the phone, dick." Yes,
Amy, what do
I
you
think
think?
Stu is a lot of fun.
Oh, Ugh.
I think Stu is
Ugh.
actually
I liked him
a
better
lot
as
of fun.
Shaggy in
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Yes. No. Amy, what do you got? Come on, back me up, Amy.
Well,
You were
uh,
nodding along feverishly with your husband, though. So
yeah, I didn't hate it as much as Rob, but it is not my favorite movie.
Hate is a strong word. I said I disliked it quite a bit.
Okay. Um, that guy that, yeah, Stu, ugh, he like ruins the whole movie. And I didn't like Randy too much either.
really,
Super annoying. Yeah, and I don't
love
know, I just
Randy.
didn't like him in that. And I loved him in
That was
Romeo and
Jamie.
Juliet,
Oh yeah.
but for some reason I wanted to punch him in this one. Um, I think that what I love about it, and when you were watching it the first time, you weren't going to know all this, right? But how famous all these people kind of became,
Sure.
and then to see them when they're little babies, right? Because now they're all in their 50s. So it's just kind of neat to see them young and just kind of like not acting so great in a not so great movie. But I feel like there were a couple things like that made me giggle. I swear to you, I saw a leather jacket in the closet when Henry Winkler was going through.
We rolled it back twice. We are almost positive it's there. I'm glad you saw
Why didn't
that.
you
Yeah.
Yes,
say
leather
that?
jacket.
Yep.
I
You
think
should
you were
have
in the
mentioned it.
I think you were in the kitchen. It was just real quick, and I thought I
Yep.
might have hallucinated it. So I
She's
didn't want to
very
go back to the
fevery.
source.
She's
So
very
nod to the
fevery.
Fonz.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, nod to the Fonz, and then of course the janitor with the striped
Yep.
sweater. Yeah,
Oh
fun.
yeah, we didn't mention
That's
Linda
right,
Blair
Brett.
either.
Yeah. Linda
Huh?
Blair pops up.
Linda Blair's in the movie,
Wait, where
and they
does
Oh
do
she
yeah,
pop
reference The
up?
Exorcist.
she's
She's
in
another news reporter.
the news lady.
Like she's in it for like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like, these people just got brutally murdered. What do you think about it? As they're
Yeah,
walking into
yep.
Uh,
school.
And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I liked about it was the references to all the other movies, and just little nods to the characters and stuff that I kind of like that. I also like comedy, so when you're putting some comedy in a slasher movie, I can enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Not everybody likes a comedy horror situation, but
I'm very
you,
serious about my horror.
yeah. And I don't care. I like it funny too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't give it. I would not want to sit through it again
So
in a
shocked.
long time. Maybe I'll revisit it in another 30 years. But no, I liked little bits about it though.
It'll be movie day at the nursing home for us.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Rob, you didn't giggle when the sheriff and Dewey are talking and the sheriff has a cigarette and Dewey has his ice cream cone, and every time the sheriff takes a drag off of his cigarette, Dewey takes a lick off his ice cream cone. And
I
then at the
didn't.
end, the sheriff throws his cigarette down, and you see Dewey stop for a second, like, do I throw my ice cream down or not? But he holds
I,
on to it and keeps going. That's
No.
the thing I'm saying. Like you're right. Dewey's terrible. They set him up early in the movie that nobody has any respect for him. So at the end of the movie, when we see that he's there, we know he is no protector to anybody. Normally in these types of movies, when the police officer arrives, people are safe. We know in this situation, Dewey is just as vulnerable as all the kids are because he's not to be taken seriously whatsoever. Like
right.
all of that is
You
intentional.
just can't.
It's
You just can't take
That's
it.
why
know,
when he's
and
like, it's officer, like what was his last name? Oh,
Barney Fife,
Dewey. What was Dewey's last name in the movie? I'm looking it up right now. Dewey
Riley.
Riley.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's like,
yeah.
it's Officer Riley or Deputy Riley, whatever he said.
Deputy Riley
Whatever.
today, Sid.
Yeah, that's what it was. You said it just like him, actually.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty good with impersonations. It's my
yeah,
thing.
you're good. That was a good voice of his.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, even from the beginning, they had set him up as this kid, and he's like, "I'm 25 years old,"
And he
and
was. He was
yeah,
25 when they made the movie. We did the
really,
math, yes.
huh? I
And
had no
Courtney
idea.
Cox is 7 years older than him.
I did not know that.
Cougar.
And they do fun things
Like
like in the climax, we have Randy, who's Jamie Kennedy, looking at the screen, talking to Jamie Lee Curtis on the screen saying, "Jamie, turn around," when Ghostface is behind
behind
him.
him. Yeah, that
There's a
was
lot of winks and nods. And again, this is supposed to be the, this new, in 96, it was a new idea.
Also, his name is Jamie. I thought that was funny.
Yes. Right, exactly. That's such a funny little bit that they throw in. But at the time, this movie was considered that new type of smart horror movie genre. It was bringing that in. And Rob's, like, some people, I don't blame you, because some people really do bump up against Kevin Williamson in the way that he writes. It's very particular. Like you brought up, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like I said, it's I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legends, The Faculty,
I really like The
H2O. That's all
Faculty.
him.
I really
Oh,
like
you
The
like The
Faculty.
Faculty? Oh, well, that's a
But
monster.
that was also Robert Rodriguez directed
Yes.
it, and he's brilliant.
That's true.
Oh, did we just talk about Robert Rodriguez
last week.
Yeah, there you go. Another Robert Rodriguez film.
Yeah, because I said his name and you guys are like, you're acting like that's no big deal.
Yeah, he works with what's her face all the time, Rose McGowan.
So,
she's in a lot of his.
I think
flicks.
Marilyn Manson stole Rose McGowan from him.
Oh, is that how it happened? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure what the timing on that was. Boy, that's unfortunate for somebody. I don't know which one. Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of good about it, but I definitely understand where you're coming from, though, Rob, because I can see the issues that you're bumping up against if it's not your cup of tea. I can totally see that. And this is the best of what Kevin Williamson can do. When you do watch things like Urban Legend, everything, it's almost like a photocopy. Every time you do it, it gets a little bit less and it gets a little bit sloppier. But I think this is a very good script. It's a tight script, and I think it is a really good movie.
When you think back, though, to the 90s, you brought up a good point, Brian. When you think back to that time when they were trying to get innovative and like coming up with that next like new thing, but still keeping in the vein of the things that had become successful, like Wes Craven's other movies. So, you have Nightmare on Elm Street
that's a good one.
And so, they were trying to keep within that vein a bit, I think, and then come up with something new. So if we can like take away our disappointment in watching it 30 years later and seeing all these like problems or issues and whatever with it, and go back in time to that point in time when they were trying to bring this new style. I mean, it was, because Scream was all the rage. I remember it being like everybody was crazy about this movie. Everybody wanted to go see it. It was a big deal. Everybody wanted to be it for Halloween. And that went on for several years, in fact.
Still going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on. Yeah, I mean, as far as the costume and people wanting to be that costume, I mean, so it left its mark. And yes, I mean, it was in that time something new and just a new way of going about things, I think.
Well, let me tell you, my son's girlfriend, it's her favorite movie, and she wasn't even born when this movie came out.
Right, good.
Oh, and we're seeing a lot of like younger people like watching some of these older flicks now, which I love. So that I really love that a lot. So maybe we'll get some young people. Rob's still disagreeing.
Well, because like I said, I like the monsters and the supernatural, and Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th and Halloween are that vein. In the genre that came out with like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, these were just people that were psychotic, killing people,
and not a monster supernatural.
Right, and I know that's a big part of it for me because like war movies, right? I'm not a big fan because it's real.
Yeah.
Serial killers are interesting to me psychologically, but that shit's real.
Right.
And these are much more related. Like when I see a vampire kill somebody in a movie, I know it's fake, but
Twilight.
but like what happens in Scream could have totally happened.
Yeah, you're right. And it's because especially when we look at today, I mean, like our news this last couple weeks has been riddled with like mass shootings and murders and everything else. And so I often think like like when you were younger and like the parents or grandparents be like, don't watch that, it's going to put ideas in your head and it's evil and this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, now like that, the older I get, the more I wonder, like, you know, how do people get their, ideas to do stuff? Like, where are they getting these ideas? If they didn't, if we don't have something to model it after, where is the ideas coming from? So, and those, yeah, I know the problems in the brain, but I mean, there's just, so that I think I see both sides of that. I do, but about it being real, and that's like something real, so it's hard to kind of celebrate those realistic things if you're putting it in a horror flick. So
That's why it's supposed to be suspenseful. That's
sus-
the idea.
the
That's kind of
suspense.
the Alfred Hitchcock didn't make movies that were supernatural for the most part, but Psycho is a suspense thriller that's considered a horror movie because you're playing off of those realistic tropes.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's a different thing because this movie plays off of the ideas and the tropes of all the stuff that came before. And a lot of the stuff that came before, like Rob was saying, involve something supernatural. You have a dream guy who kills you in your dreams, a zombie who will kill you at his campsite, and a crazy guy who's just the shape of evil who can't be killed. You could shoot him 6 times and he's still going to keep getting up. It
Right.
doesn't matter. So this is a little bit, it's a different thing. So again, I see it, but I will stand by this is a great movie, and I bet Rotten Tomatoes agrees with me.
Rotten
Well,
Tomatoes is 78%.
IMDb gave it a 7.4, which is
Oh,
not bad.
okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
78% Rotten
That's pretty good.
Tomatoes. I have to say
That's
one
about
more
right.
thing that I feel
Yeah.
like it gave a nod to is, did anybody else see the similarity in the character Billy to Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp's
Yes, and
character?
because he looks
Yeah.
just like Johnny Depp when he's
Yeah.
young.
It's the
Yeah.
hair.
It was
Yeah.
intentional. They purposely cast him because Wes thought he looks like Johnny Depp in A Nightmare on Elm Street. That
Yeah.
was very intentional, yeah.
Bless you, puppy. Did your dog sneeze?
God. Yes.
But the one thing we can't walk away from this thinking is that Wes Craven is some sort of master of horror. We can't allow that to be. He's not. His best things, his best things that he's remembered for is A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, which was, and then Scream. So I don't know if he needs to go down as this sort of master of horror because he's really not. He works best when it's other people who are writing and not his own material. Because let us not forget, he also has the People Under the Stairs.
That wasn't
Wes Craven
horrible.
presents A New Nightmare, which is his shitty version of this concept. Yeah. Now, People Under the Stairs, again, that movie's kind of crazy, but it has its own thing. It has a cult following, but nobody ever says, "Oh my God, I love Wes Craven. The People Under the Stairs is the greatest thing ever." No, it's bad shit crazy, and if you're in the mood for it, it's not bad. Like, that's the long and short.
I'm always in the mood for bad shit crazy.
Yeah. Well, you've seen People Under the Stairs, right, Rob?
I seen it at the theater.
Yeah. And did you like that more than this movie?
Way more.
Because it's crazy, but that movie's
Because
just
it's crazy and it's
though.
not, you can't like really compare it to anything either. You're not going to be like, "Oh, I've seen that before." No, you haven't.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fraggle Rock, but not.
I didn't realize he died back in 2015.
What's that?
Wes Craven died back in 2015. I didn't.
Wow, it was 2015. I can't believe it was that long ago now.
Sorry, Wes, I forgot.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. But at the same time, man, we got to keep it 100. I mean,
And Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, I loved it. I even liked the sequel. A lot of those movies I don't feel needed a sequel.
Dream Warriors is great.
Ugh, that's where I stopped watching.
Why? What problem can you have with Dream Warriors?
I was done. And
well, after Dream Warriors is fine, but what's wrong with Dream Warriors?
I remember not liking it, and I don't want to sit through it again to prove the point. The only movie I've seen with Jason, I've seen the remake, which was not good, and Freddy vs. Jason.
You didn't like it, Dream Warriors, when he turns the kid into the puppet and he's walking and the veins are out, and come on, Dream Warriors is great.
I would have to rewatch it, and I don't know if I'm
Nancy shows back up, and now she's trying to be helpful. Yeah.
I think what he was good at though is marketing,
Well,
because
that's true. Yeah.
even if his movies were not great, like, he's still, everything's still relevant, right? The Scream
Yeah.
guy, the night,
Ghostface,
what is his name?
Freddy
Freddie.
Krueger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Shocker.
even though his movies weren't great, it was almost like just really long commercials for the merch. I still see
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger sweaters and like Hot Topic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gloves, yeah.
I didn't realize that Wes Craven also directed Serpent in the Rainbow, which was
Oh,
That was a good
written
one,
by
I
Richard
thought.
Maxwell.
Serpent in the Rainbow.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah,
I
don't
saw
watch that one either, everybody.
I liked it, but I don't remember. I haven't seen
I
it in
liked
forever.
it.
Yeah, 1988.
Oh.
Dang.
Oh
Ago.
God! And we saw it. Did we see it at the show
Yes.
together?
Oh my gosh, you were babies.
That's so funny.
You were babies. So it's because 8.
It's probably one of our first dates.
Batman.
You guys had to have been.
Was
all-
it Batman?
Batman, I was already pregnant.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
3 months later.
Music of the Heart with Meryl Streep. He also directed that abomination.
I
in
saw that and I was like,
1989.
I never saw that movie, but I saw that he was a
Ugh.
director of that. I was like, that's kind
Yeah.
of weird.
Yeah. Oof.
All right. Well, so
Scary.
would you recommend, let's go round robin. I think we know, Rob, would you recommend anybody to watch this movie?
We're doing out of 10
No.
though, right?
Oh yeah, let's do one
Yeah.
1 to 10.
All right. Personally, I'm going to give this movie at the most I could probably do would be a 5.6 because I think
Okay.
it delivers what the mainstream wants to see. And if you're into that, and I mean, how do you argue with a movie that's right? It's considered a classic. I can't like everything. I don't have to love everything, right? So, yeah, best I could probably do would be a 5.6, and that's being nice. I think for me personally, of what I watch and what I normally would like, that's just doesn't fall into that wheelhouse. So
What about you, Amy?
You know what? I would almost have to interview the person that was about to see it. Like, hey, what do you like in your movies? Because if you are a serious horror movie person, you would hate it. But I do think if you're into that comedy,
oh, she
like
went there.
funny, you know what I mean? I think 6.5, 6.5.
Yeah, not bad.
If it wasn't for all the famous people being in there, I think it would be less. But like I said, I was nostalgic, like, oh my God, it's that one, And so I enjoyed it because they're, like I said, they're all 50 now.
Yeah. I would have to say that to me, like, it wasn't scary enough. But of course it's supposed to be horror, which isn't always necessarily scary and sometimes just gory. So so even if just being horror, if we're going on the gory fact, like there wasn't like a ton of, I mean, they had the like evisceration of the boyfriend in the beginning out on the patio, and that was like so. I think the best gore part of it, if that's, if we're gonna rate that horror, was the garage door scene. So I think that was probably the best one, but I'm not big into gore. So but so I didn't think it was scary enough. But overall, because of like the characters, the people, the time that it was written, so like I'm just trying to take myself back to that. I would give it probably like a 7, 6.87, just because there is some level of enjoyment in some of the comedy and all of the nods that it did to all different types of movies and other characters, and the people that played their characters, like the stars that played their characters had been stars in other things, and they kind of nodded to other things that they did. So yeah, so that would be mine. What about you, Brian?
All right. Before I get to my rating, Rob, I just need to cleanse my palate and get recalibrated so you and I can get back into sync here. Okay. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, thumbs up
Love
or thumbs
it.
down? Okay.
Love it.
Whew. Okay. Human Centipede, thumbs up or thumbs down?
I give it a thumbs up.
Yes, we're back, baby. We're back. Woo, boy. Okay. All right. I feel a lot better now. We're back,
Your
Rob.
bromance has rekindled.
Okay, we're back. All right.
I would never think you would like Human Centipede.
Oh, humans! Come on,
Oh,
Dieter
that is
Laser is in that. It's
terrible.
starring Dieter Laser. It's great, and he's
That
so
the ending makes
perfectly
me feel
even.
so uncomfortable.
Human
Oh,
Centipede is absolutely fucking terrible. Come
yeah, you
on.
don't want to be the middle segment.
No.
That's right.
No.
Or the back section for all that.
Yeah.
Oh my,
It's
I
all
wouldn't want to
it's all
be any
bad.
of the section. Well, maybe the
Yeah.
front section, but no.
Depends on
Not at
who's
all.
behind me.
Yeah.
Oh my
Might be
God.
somebody there I could really appreciate.
That's
And
a whole
normally,
other episode. I don't know that I ever want to review that movie. I'll just like you guys can and I'll
it
Amy, did you see Human Centipede?
Yes, it was horrible.
It was awful.
Disgusting.
Absolutely terrible. Anyway,
it
sorry.
you
Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
Rob, we're back. I feel better now. Okay. I would recommend everybody should see Scream. I would say if you're a fan of this genre, if you like Nightmare on Elm Street, if you like Halloween, if you like Friday the 13th, and you haven't seen Scream, watch Scream. I don't think it's going to be that unenjoyable. Um, you may not think it's as great as history says that it is, but I also think that it fits in nicely with if you watched the original Halloween, the original Friday the 13th, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and you watch this, I feel like you're getting a proper dose of your intro to slashers. And you're getting a big piece of the history of the genre and where we've gone from this. It's interesting how everything evolves a certain way. But I give it high marks. I give it an 8.5. So sometimes you're in the mood for 90s nostalgia, and I think it still holds up pretty well, even with the, you know, what are you doing with with a cell phone, son? What are you doing with a cellular phone? Everybody's got them, sheriff. Like it's a whole. They even play off of that. If this movie would have came a year earlier or 2 years earlier, it would have been slightly different because you wouldn't have the cell phone angle.
What I remember are beepers at that time. Like that was
Yeah,
the thing, honestly. Not everybody had cell phones. I didn't even know anybody with a
yeah.
cell phone at that
Not everybody had a beeper either, except for the drug dealers. But hey,
But everybody in
no,
that movie had a mansion.
time.
everybody has it. Stu's house was
They
amazing.
were humongous.
Yeah, yeah, they were really. It was great for a very small town that looked like the town of from Back to the Future, Hill Valley. There you go. I almost
Yes,
had a brain
Sydney
fart. I would have got
walking
in
up to
trouble.
the top of like that balcony on the top
Yeah,
level of her house. I was like, what the hell? Where's she
yeah,
living?
yeah. Well, I'm curious to see where we're gonna go from here with House. With that review, Rob, have you seen House?
Oh, I seen it when it first came out, and I have watched it in the past year.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh
then
no.
let's not. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, we're gonna because
Hopefully,
I think that's next week, but you're not oh not next week, but well, I mean it's gonna be the next week as we're airing this now. I mean, as we're recording this now,
yeah,
it'll be the next one that comes out after this episode.
yes,
And
yeah.
then
Well,
then
that'll be
after
fun.
that,
Look
I
at,
think we have
look at the
Nosferatu.
excitement on Amy's face to watch House again.
I haven't seen House, I don't think. So
Believe it or not, Rob's
No, I
flying
love
on air.
that though. I love
Yeah,
that.
see, doesn't love William Cat?
Mm-hmm.
well, this was a great
And George Wendt. You can't beat it. You got George Wendt. You got Greatest American Hero and Norm. Doesn't get any better than that.
Norm.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to watching that one. So, well, everybody, thanks for taking a listen. If there's something you want to hear us review, you like how we review things, send us a movie. We'll watch it. We'll review it. Tell us what you think about Scream. Put it in the comments wherever you listen to us, or you can visit us over on our Facebook page. Stick with us. We have a few more movie reviews coming the rest of the month. I think 2 more after this, and we have our Weird Weekly News every Wednesday. And then in November, we're going to head back to our every other week where we have a full episode and we got some investigations that we're going to be talking about with some evidence reveals. So, with that, everybody have a great night. It's nighttime for us as we're recording this. So, if you have anything you want us to investigate, you want to get a hold of us, we do investigations. They are free of charge. They are case by case basis. Get a hold of us if you're in the like, I guess, say Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin,
And
Northern Illinois area, we will do that. Or if you live in farm country, like where
Yeah.
dairy farms are, we'll come there. So yeah, just get a hold of us at connectedrealm@gmail.com. That's connectedrealm@gmail.com. Until then, we'll see you next time. Stay weird, everybody.
Yep.
Ciao.
Sticky
Good
pudding.
balls.